It is official. I'm at Sony Kando Trip. I cannot believe I'm here. I mean that in the least cheesy way as possible. I worked with Sony last year to create TikToks for their TikTok, but honestly, like since then, it's been crickets. I haven't heard from them. So to get the invite to come here was a very big surprise. When I got the email inviting me to come to the Kando Trip in Utah, I thought it was spam because first of all, it's like confidential and it just came out of the blue. Like I haven't had any interaction for over a year. But that being said, clearly I'm on someone's list or someone's watching me because I got invited, which I am very ecstatic about. I think that goes to show, no matter what, even if you think no one's watching, someone is. That's why always put yourself out there. Like a lot of times on social media, I'm posting stories, posting stuff that might not be getting seen a lot, but I'm doing it with the intention of someone might be, but also I'm doing it for myself because I enjoy creating that much. And it's paying off, I guess. Like Sony's always treated me well, and to get invited to this again, like I'm excited. From what I'm aware, this trip is like 100 to 200 other creators, photographers come out to this, and people representing Sony Electronics, and their other different divisions are coming out. So it's kind of like an adult field trip or summer camp kind of thing. And collaborate. There's going to be classes, lectures, and then just like opportunities to network. I am going into this completely blind. I do not know a single person here. I do know of some people, like I follow them or I've seen them, might have even met them at one point, but I don't have any friends here. Like I see a bunch of people with their groups and kind of envious of that. But one of the things I'm very excited to and doing with an open mind is just coming in here and meeting new people, meeting other creators. Like that's my number one goal. I don't know what was going on with me leading up to this, and I probably shouldn't admit this, but the imposter syndrome was hitting hard. Clearly, like I'm seen as a peer, but for whatever reason, like I am confident in my ability, but for whatever reason, I'm just like, never feels like it's enough. What I do is enough. So to be invited to something like this, where this is an equal playing field kind of thing, even though I am coming here to also learn, it feels like a nice point of recognition because like I don't get social anxiety like that, but I was like, my chest was tight like for the past like 5 days once we got the guest list, or like once we got the list of who's coming. And even on the plane right here, like I was just having my heart racing, like it's nervousness, excitedness, and I shouldn't be like that. Like a few people I talked to, like they're not the other people here aren't celebrities. Like I'm on the same playing field, but for whatever reason, I'm just nervous. I think it's because on one hand, maybe this is gender related, especially like as a woman in a male dominated industry like photography is just something that I constantly feel like I have to prove myself, but I don't think it's that. I think it's just me. Maybe it's also my Asian background. Like just always have to feel like I always just feel like what I do is not good enough. So there's always room for improvement, yes, but to validate my own self. Like on one hand I'm confident, but on the other, in an environment like this, like it's in my head. So let's get into the swag. I guess technically this is a brand trip. I've been to a few press trips this year already, but this is my first like brand trip. So starting off already strong, a Peak Design duffel bag, which is pretty dope. I haven't used a duffel bag in a long time though, simply because I like carrying things in a backpack. I also packed light because I knew we were getting swag. So first up, got a t-shirt. Very cool. I actually forgot to pack my down jacket. Lows are going to be in the 50s and highs are going to be in the 70s. At night there's like astrophotography, and then there's early morning sunrise hike. And for those temperatures, I think for most people that's normal, that's fine. But for me, especially if you're out for at least an hour in 50-degree weather, like I get cold. I brought toe warmers, but I didn't bring a jacket. But I knew we were getting swag, and we got this really heavy sweater. So I'm definitely going to be wearing this the next couple of days. It's very cool. Look at the back. And then simple in the front. Cables. More cables. I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's for like a rig setup. Sunscreen. It's very sunny. Because we're like 11,000 feet up, this is oxygen. Just gotta move slowly. Earlier this year, or last year, I was in Chile, and the highest elevation we went to was 15,000 feet. And I was okay, thankfully, but I do remember that we have to move slowly at these higher elevations so you don't get altitude sickness. Not exactly sure what this is, but I think it has to do with like leveling. It's a multi-use tool. Some popcorn. Oh, some makeup. Oh, vitamin C. Some snacks, stickers. Gonna have to clean all this up. Oh, collapsible water bottle? Yeah. That's cute. Electrolyte drink mix, like liquid IV kind of stuff. Memory card storage case. It's gonna take me a second to open this, so figure it out later. And, ooh, a blanket. This is really cute. So thanks, Sony. Very exciting. Last but not least, my Sony Kando name tag. I still have another name tag from another Sony Alpha event back in like 2018. It was a Sony Alpha female event, and there were industry leaders there and other people that went on to become huge photographers. And I remember thinking, like, one day that's gonna be me. So, on the path. Now that I've gone over that, here's what it was like being at Kando Trip. What does Kando mean? Kando is the Japanese word for the simultaneous feeling of deep satisfaction and intense excitement we experience when encountering something of exceptional value. Definitely a Kando Trip. There's actually another Japanese word that has been driving me forward since I started my journey as a full-time creative, ikigai, which means a passion that gives value and joy to life. It's absolutely true. I made the jump to take a risk and bet on myself as a photographer, creator, in order to see the world, meet new people. You get the idea. And now I'm learning of the word kendo. The Japanese really have all these beautiful concepts that fit nicely into a word. This year, Kando Trip was hosted in Snowbird, Utah. In previous years, they've had it in Ohio, in California, and a bunch of other places. Since this is technically a brand trip, all logistics were handled by them, and I was flown out to the resort along with a bunch of other photographers and creators. What's great about this trip is there's no obligation to post or anything like that. I don't have to make this YouTube or the content I posted on Instagram or TikTok. But of course, everyone who is invited will, since we want to share our experience and flex, to be honest. Day one was dedicated to traveling, so there wasn't any rush to have to do anything once we arrived. At registration was where we got our swag that I showed you earlier, and then I decompressed in my hotel room until dinner. The first night, dinner was up on the summit, so everyone took the tram up. The resort sits at 8,000 feet, but the summit is at 11,000. On the way up, someone actually fainted in the tram, and no one had their oxygen tanks on them. Thankfully, there were no serious issues, and she was okay. Up on the summit were all these opportunities to photograph models in various scenarios. It was cool. The whole trip, I didn't focus on portraits as much, but I probably should have. For me, it's hard to shoot in this kind of environment when I don't have a connection to the subject, like if they were my client. I know, sounds like an excuse, but I'll try to focus on portraits more if I'm invited next year. Day 2 and 3 were full days at Snowbird, and we had free reign on what we wanted to do and participate in. The only thing that everyone was definitely present for at the same time was the keynote address, where Sony announced their newest products, the compact full-frame A7C II, A7CR, and the 16-35mm f2.8 G Master II. It was so exciting to be one of the first ones to test the new products. Just came back from opening ceremonies where they announced their new cameras, and I get to rent it for the day. I wish we could keep it, but even had my name on it, so it was ready to go. There was like 4 new products that was announced, and there's 3 new bodies and then 1 new lens. I don't really care about the lens. It's a 16-35 G Master II, I believe, but I don't need that range right now. I wanted to test out the brand new body. This one is the new A7C Mark II, so way lighter than my A7 III, which I currently use, and the difference is immense. Well, I also have a heavy-ass lens on it. My biggest gripe, though, is the fact that it is single slot. Whenever I do client work, I need dual slots. So I would use this Probably for more personal, recreational stuff, I wouldn't use it for client work. But I'm excited to use it. I also rented a lens. This is the 100 to 400. I'm going to be going birding, I think, later and go photograph some birds. So I'm going to put these together and try it out. This camera has a 33 megapixel sensor, Bion's XR processor, and a dedicated AI processing unit, which gives enhancements like improved subject recognition, eye autofocus, and subject tracking. It can shoot up to 10 frames per second with both mechanical and silent shutter, and both autofocus and auto exposure tracking. Smaller and lighter than its predecessor, the A7C, the A7C II offers 4K video with full pixel readout, 7K oversampling, 422 10-bit color, and all intro recording. With it, you can capture 4K 60 FPS video in Super 35 and 120 FPS in Full HD. The camera also allows you to use S Cinetone Color and S-Log 3. I did not get to test out all these functions. Besides the lack of dual slots, other feedback I heard was the fact that the joystick was removed. That's really helpful for focusing. I personally am okay without it since I'm used to using the APS-C A6400, which doesn't have a joystick. It felt like people were excited for the lens the most. I was focused on borrowing all the telephotos, like the 600mm, which is $13,000, so I didn't get to try the new zoom lens. All in all, this was a great experience and I'm so happy to have been invited this year. I distinctly remember last year wishing to be invited, and I guess I manifested it. Whether or not you believe in this kind of stuff, keep putting yourself out there and dream big.